like I was mentioning, this is season 3, episode 1 of From Review. So let's get into it. So, in the last season, if I recall, the last thing that we do remember is besides Jade kind of going on his kind of like crazy little adventures, going through the tunnels and finding out some of the secrets and having like his own little vision, they start to realize how much the actual monsters in the background are actually starting to be not a little bit, well, they've always been smart, but they're starting to be a little bit more strategic with their tactics. I don't recall all the different nitty gritties at this point of like how they went about season 2, but it was very smart on how they did it. The Boyd finally got out of that whole curse that happened at the end of season 1, so he was able to kind of put that poison into one of the other walkers, or that curse. So, but besides that, Tabitha right here on the left, she basically was following the children to go towards the tower. And then, long story short, as she's going through the tower, the kid that was like guiding her basically pushed her out the window. And then, boom, boom, she ends up right here back into reality. And then, of course, waking up in the hospital bed. That's basically the last thing we've seen or heard in regards to Tabitha. So, as the episode starts, of course, you have Tabitha and the nurse basically explaining to her like exactly what is going on. Your family has been trying to look for you and contact you. Don't even worry, we'll get the police to come here and this, that, and the third. And it's like she's completely disoriented. So she's not even like understanding what is going on, but she definitely knows that she can't really talk to anybody because she knows if she talks to somebody, they ain't gonna believe her. So I believe as like, the doctor gets like distracted by, of course, one of the nurses, she basically finds a way to kind of make her escape. And very easily. Of course, in all these TV shows, all these characters are easily able to avoid some of these staff members, and these staff members don't ask no questions. Like you see somebody with a little bit of a cut up, clothing and shit, looking like not homeless, but borderline a little bit to that. You're not gonna question that? All right, all right. So of course, as the police come in right at the perfect time, and she's able to buck around the corner, avoid it as easily as possible. So she's continuing, so the scene also continues forward with her just continuously trying to like figure out where she is and like how she can basically get in contact with anybody, but we don't know who she's trying to get in contact with. um as you see right here, she actually sees the young boy across the street and tries to follow him, but isn't the boy that we actually, get to see. It's actually funny. It's actually some random ass boy that looks dressed exactly like the ghost kid. So very odd and weird. Then of course, title screen. I mean the intro, blah blah blah, and then of course Boyd basically coming back from one of his injuries or from one of the situations. So I forget exactly what he was coming back from, but we will might as well continue forward. He's basically having another conversation with what is his name again? It is Father Kutry. Kutry? Yeah, Kutry. Yeah, Father Kutry, and he's doing his little typical mind games that he's doing with Boyd. But at the same time, Boyd is kind of going back and forth, you know, not really tolerating the constant like blame game that this apparent ghost or alter ego that he's having um is always trying to blame him for. Basically his guilt trying to make him feel bad and all that stuff and take certain directions, but again, he's able to navigate this conversation as if it was nothing. Now, they were actually able to find um what's his little boy's name again? Ethan. Yes, they were able to find Ethan because I remember Ethan near the end of the episode was trying to look for his mom. So thankfully, Tia, is that her name? Tia. Yes, Tia Chen, one of the goats. I'm telling you, one of the goats. She and you guys gotta remember, she's the one that makes all the food for the whole village. So it's like she'll always be number one. But thankfully finds her, brings him to the father and all that stuff, and then always trying to explain that, everything's gonna be fine and blah blah. What's his name again? Jim. Oh my gosh, I kid you not. It doesn't matter if it was season one or if it was season two. Jim has always annoyed me. All his choices, all the times he speaks to his children and his wife, explains certain situations. Bro, even how excessive this man went to team up. Yo, we gotta find some names for some of these guys. I can't even lie. I will figure out some names for some of these guys. But what was his name? What was his name? Wow, is his name really not in the casting like that? Oh, right here, Randall. Randall, that little freaking slime ball, freaking can't control his own emotions. It's like you were really trying to team up with this man. So he's here trying to, tell him to go inside with his sister and with Victor, so that he'll be a little bit more safer and he can get a little bit more time to think about how to find his wife. So again, over here, I believe he's having a conversation again in this scene with Boyd, but Boyd's trying to, convince him a little bit to not look for his wife. But at this point of where everybody is in the village, no one's taking anybody's shit anymore. If shit's happening, they're going through with it and they're not letting anybody talk them out of it. So Jim is just one of those guys where nobody's talking him out of the situation. Like, so here Boyd kind of like explains a way of how, or like, if you let me, like, let's talk or rap a little bit, because I've actually been outside the village where you barely haven't. So let me give you an area for you to at least start with and start giving you a little bit tidbit advice with in regards to the tent and like talismans and all that stuff. um then this scene, as that scene ends and we come into this scene, bro, this thing, I kid you not, I don't even think I would actually live in this house, because a lot of these people do not trust. They would put me in so much situations where my life is at risk. I would never be in the same house as some of these people, because a thing like this, I don't know. I don't know if everybody generally knows if she's either if what's her name again? If Fatima is sick or not feeling well. I know a lot. I know all of them don't know she's pregnant, but I know a few of them might at least see that she's unwell. The fact that this girl is like, "Oh, you've been in there for like longer than 15 minutes or an hour, whatever time she said." It's like, uh you don't think there's a reason why? Like, I get the frustration, but come on, like, just the complete disrespect in this woman. But Fatima, it was at this point, especially at this point of where season, or how we're in season three now, and I think they found out about the pregnancy near the midway point of season two. But it's just like the way she has been getting more and more sick has actually been weirding me out, because it's like I've always thought about it when I thought of when it came about in season two, where it's like, for one, I don't even think it's fucking smart. For one, to be pining during a situation like this, I get it. Everybody needs some love, some affection, whatever. But especially having a baby, bro, you can't trust what's gonna happen. Like, bro, some people are having nightmares, visions, being attacked in their dreams, and you think having a baby, bro, we'll have like an alien situation here. Like, who knows? But as we continue on, she, straightens herself out and comes out the bathroom. Everybody's checking up on her, making sure she's doing well and everything. And then, of course, Grandma Chuck comes in with, of course, the most perfect advice for the situation. I will still state it again. This woman is not to be trusted. This old woman is just strictly not to be trusted. Like, there has been lots of scenes in season two that has kind of like shown like she's not like a figment, or she's not really a night, like one of those nightmare monsters or night monsters. But there's just something weird about her. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's the studio that is like making her into kind of like this metaphor or like keystone character given like the right gems or advice for each of the characters in the story, but it's just the way she moves and the calmness. I'm just like, nah, you have to be like the mole in a certain way. Who knows? Who knows? Um, but yeah, we continue on. This man, what's his name again? Big boy, big boy, big boy. Damn, you gotta show the whole cast, Google. Um, don't remember what this man's name is, but he has been continuously still having the visions, and nothing has been changing. But they continue on into the kitchen where they have more of a discussion about how Jim can avoid the situation. Now, thankfully, um, Kenny decides to kind of like buck up with Jim. I think it's mainly because he doesn't want to leave Jim by himself, but at the same time, he also kind of like wants to get his mind off of stuff, especially off of the recent situations that happened in season 2. So it's kind of like a good thing and a bad thing. But Kenny has been always a stand-up guy in my book. He has always been level-headed, even after his father's death in season 1. He has still kept it like kept the overall community together to the point where Boyd trusts him to be the next sheriff. But yeah, they continue plotting, and then yeah, at this point, I do believe like they settle that he's going to be going with Jim. Then at this point, they find basically Jade again on his crazy vision tips, and I've just came to accept that Jade is kind of like the visionary or the shaman, whatever, of this party, where he's the one getting all the major visions to connect all the dots. But I've actually liked how they turn his character into this kind of like person instead of just like a drunkard that's just moving around being drunk and sad all the time. But yeah, they're figuring that stuff out. Then we head back with Tabitha. Now, in this situation, she basically asks these two girls if she can borrow her phone to basically, which we find out is to call her mother. Now, her mother is very shocked that she's getting a call from her daughter, wondering where exactly she is, how we can help her and stuff. But she already knows if she gets her mom involved, it's going to be way too complicated. And especially with getting the cops involved, it's just way too complicated. So this was just more of a call for her to like hear her voice and for her to let her know that she's fine and she's going to figure out a way to properly come home. Now, these girls, I get it. You see a woman that is looking a little bit sketchy, but the way they're so nervous and so like kind of like standoffish as if Tabitha was gonna like attack them. It was just so weird. Like it just goes to show you like how society is nowadays. A lot of people just don't trust people, not even when it comes to somebody literally asking for help. But I get it. There's scams out here all day, every day in so many different ways. So I get it. I get it. So then we move back into this area where this scene, basically Kenny and what's her name, Christy, yes, are just having their little conversation, just brushing it up. Mom comes in, so having their little conversation as they're basically prepping. There's not too much that happens in this scene, but it's always nice seeing Kenny and his mom always having their kind of like family relationship, talks and stuff because especially like because at the end of the day, like her husband and his father dying hasn't been that long. It may has been maybe a couple months, but it's still fresh for them. So it's just nice always seeing them kind of like bucking and just still having a good time with each other. Then you have Jim here, of course, doing a bad job trying to explain to his son, was it Ethan? Yes, to that he's basically going to be looking for his mom. Of course, Ethan, like a friggin', ugh, I swear, Ethan, sometimes. I get it. I get it. You want to step up a little bit more, but you've seen the monsters. They're way too dangerous. Like, why are you asking to come in the like into the forest with your dad and all that stuff? So he has to basically talk him out of it. Tell his daughter Julie that please look out for your brother as I look for your mother and everything. Now, Julie has been another character that has been pissing me off, but we'll definitely get to Julie next time. Because this scene just basically ends off with him leaving. They start bucking ways with Kenny, say their goodbyes, and then they're off. Now, this situation happens right at the time of when they leave, and then they basically find out that all their crops, for whatever reason, is now completely poisoned, or yeah, poisoned or completely rotted, and whatnot. Complete to their surprise, they don't even know how that happened. So what's her name? What's her name? What's her name? What's her name? Donna. Yes, Donna. She basically came to the conclusion that it most likely is the soil in this general area, that the soil is completely messed up. Now, because of that, of course, everybody hears that we have no more food. Now, because Tia was the main person that held all the food together, or it as like was like the warehouse considerably. Everybody's bum rushing her house. She's doing her best with her English to explain everything. You can't come inside. You can't this, that, and the third. It's against policy, against the law of the village and everything. But of course, everybody bums rush in and gets all the food, or at least a good amount of food in the house. Complete disarray. It just goes to show you, with fear, people go on will go into complete anarchy. And then of course you have our main man Randall, no slime ball, trying to steal one of the goats. Funny thing is, it's actually the main goat that Ethan has been getting a lot more closer with. So with Victor being there, they're trying to stop Randall. And then Victor taking whatever initiative to pull out the gap that he got from season two, that he's still held on to basically, defend himself. Boyd, tells him, basically gets him to calm down and gives the gun to Boyd and all that stuff. Now you have Boyd that also calms Randall down and gets Randall to give him the go, because in reality, we can't be killing off the animals right now. Yes, all the food has been poisoned and whatnot, but or like the soil is not really nice or good to plant there, but we all gotta be smart in a sense, because just like it says in the text, the goats, the chickens, all of it provide us eggs, milk, any type of resource that we can use to better survive ourselves. The moment we eat that, we kill that, we're done. That's basically what the nightmare monsters want. They basically want us to panic more, to be in more fear and shit. So that's basically what I explained, is basically what Boyd was explaining to him and the rest of the people, knowing that everybody's listening and everything. So gets everybody to calm down, go amongst their ways. But yo, I kid you not, the role that Boyd is in right now, too much. This man has survived way too much. This black man needs a true break. Needs a real break. And his son is really doing nothing to help out. Yes, he's taking care of his wife, Fatima, but bro, we are in dire need of you stepping up. You like, this man is like I think he either, I forget if he got stabbed or if he broke his ankle, but it's like, you're perfectly healed. You're probably one of the most healthiest guys in the area. We need you as like a runner or something. And then of course, then here's the scene where Jim and Kenny are continuing through the forest, having a little conversation, trying to figure out, the ways and the trail that Boyd told them to go towards. Find this random, scarecrow puppet, whatever. Of course, creepy. Nobody understands what this means. None of us knows what this means. So, there's no point in talking about it. But then they run into this random, smaller village, hut area, whatever you want to call it. So they thought it was going to be a good idea for them to basically use this as their camping site, because it's already a big shelter. There's walls all around them. All they need to do is just put up the talisman and they should be protected for the night. And because it's getting dark. So that's basically the conclusion they came up with. Now, Tabitha, after calling her mom and stuff, she's basically was just bumming around the town and runs into a church. She basically, just like in the church, I forget what it's called when they're talking to the pastor in this booth or whatnot, trying to confess on her sins, and as well trying to see if this person can hear, like, if anything, she thought the pastor would be the best person to listen to her off of like the crazy situation she's been in. Decides that, nah, this is wrong, shouldn't be doing this and stuff. But then, the pastor, being such an you know, upstand guy, comes in and tries to actually properly listen her out, but then gives her a little tidbit, because as she's explaining the story, she basically looks at the lunchbox, because the guy basically asked her a question about the lunchbox. And then as she opens it, because Victor, she remembers, gave her basically a snack or lunch on basically during her travels as she was like going through this journey. So as he asks what's in the in the lunchbox, and they open it, she sees how Victor has his address on or in the lunchbox. Maybe it was the dad or his dad that basically did that at first, so that in case his lunchbox got lost, they could return it to the address and stuff. So with that in mind, she's like, "Oh shit! If his dad is still there, or mom, dad, yeah, then I might be able to find him." So that's where he goes. Now, big boy right here, I kid you not, I still feel bad for this boy because he didn't do nothing. He just ended up being the person receiving these weird ass visions. So he's having a hard time sleeping because before near the end of season two, there were a lot of the people in the village were getting attacked by in their dreams or in their nightmares and stuff. So at a certain point, they asked some of these people not to go to sleep. So he took that a little bit more on the extreme side because he's the one having a lot more of these visions than other people. So he's had like she's basically trying to like, convince him to get some sleep, just that and the third and whatnot, give him advice and everything. But then she's just like, wait, is that what you're talking about? And she's basically describing it before they even show it. She's describing some whatever creature, demon, whatever is just right there, and she can see it too. So you're like, wait, what the fuck? And he's just like, that's the perfect face right there. I just want to say that's the perfect face. That's the face of just like, oh fuck, shit. And as they turn, oh man, see, hold on, let me see if I can play it. Oh no, see? Boom. Right there. Got this creepy ass woman right here coming straight at them. It's like, what? What? But ended up being a dream. He actually dreamt it. So it's like, oh, damn. So at least whatever entity, creature that I think is either related towards the tower or the box, the music box, might be related towards that woman. Who knows? We still don't know. That's like his visions has always been weird. But the thing is, again, that grandma, why was it that in that dream, especially usual visions that he has, he's usually the only one that goes through it or experiences it or sees it? Why is it that in that vision, in that dream, she also seen it too? Maybe I'm over analyzing that scene, but I'm telling you, woman is not to be trusted. So here you have Victor coming in again as they're basically explaining the situation of like the rations, this, that, and the third. Now you have Donna over here just tripping balls, not being able to control herself on how we're gonna deal with the food. And basically Tia, of course, the all-star, simply puts it that we're just gonna ration the food that we already have and keep the animals. Like, shut the fuck up, everybody. Like, I don't know why everybody's like debating about this. It's like, we need animals. Why are you talking about trying to slaughter them? And what? Like, you guys do it, like, you guys barely know how to, I forget what it is, to not purify, to like keep proper storage with meat so that they last longer. It's like, I would rather use them as a resource than eat them. That's just me. But yeah, so they basically get through it. They're not gonna kill the animals and stuff. But then little Ethan, oh, here's a conversation, and he starts thinking, oh, my best friend Goat might be killed. I'm telling you, I get he's a kid, but like we need some more smarter kids in these shows. Like kids are not like children are not stupid. Like, and I keep making the mistake of calling them kids because his best friend is a kid. A kid just means a kid go. No, but these children, they really need to put some smarter children in these shows because Ethan, oh my gosh. So he runs off, and here comes Boyd. But thankfully, Ethan understands the gravity of the situation and even says like if it's okay that his best friend basically is the first one out so that he doesn't have to watch his friends die. Very honorable. Definitely probably one of the pluses in this episode in regards to Ethan. And even with this scene, you can just tell he's just he has to do a lot of maturing because even though everybody tries to keep this veil of just still being a kid, it is dog near impossible at this point. It's impossible. Like he needs to be told the truth. He needs to contribute. He needs to like understand because especially with a person like Victor who was a kid and then grew up to be older than his dad, bro, come on. I think he's older than his dad. I don't know. But yeah, that's basically the end of this scene. So here you have Tabitha actually finding the house of apparently where the Victor used to live. So as he's here, you see, lo and behold, his dad is still alive. Now, looking at his age here, they might be around the same age. Who knows? But Victor definitely looks a little bit older. So he might be older. But Victor is still not athletic, but still mobile. So they might be around the same age. So he tries to show she's kind of hesitant on like the introduction, but he notices the lunchbox, tries to say like, where'd you get that from and all that stuff, and then scene ends. Here you have the scene of them, at night, Jim and Kenny, and they're just talking about some of the things that's on their minds and just things that's happened. But then, oh, lo and behold, they start hearing some footsteps outside. So they kept themselves quiet. Kenny always ready. That's why I like Kenny. He's always about that smoke. He's always about that smoke. But thankfully, nothing happens. So it was just, most likely Nightmare Monsters just, walking through this area. So I'm not actually trying to troll them. So after this situation, Jim gets the realization that, like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing because the reason why Tabitha left is because if something happens to her, he has to stay and take care of the children. What he's doing right now is basically going back on what they just talked about because it literally happened. Like she's gone, he needs to take care of the children. So they come to that realization, decide once it gets to morning, we're going back home. No ifs, ands, or buts. Smart move. Now, right here, here's the diabolical point because this is basically the last scene or one of the last major scenes of the episode or arcs, you can say. I'll figure out a way to better structure this in the future of how I want to break down a lot of these reviews. But I'll definitely do that for episode 2. But right here, you have one of the nightmare monsters letting out the cattle. Bro, too smart, too devious. So you have Boyd, in his police department, the usual spot that he camps when, it becomes nighttime, checking out the places and whatnot. Finds out that Jade, because he drank a little bit too much from the last time they interacted with him, they just put him in the jail cell, just for him to sleep and all that stuff. And since it was becoming nighttime, you can keep an eye out on him. So, they start rapping about this, that, and the third. Then they start hearing a noise outside. Of course, Boyd sees the cattle start making a run for it. Now, even though it is super risky because we know what they're trying to do with the nightmare monsters, he's still like, nah, I need to take the risk of getting these cattle back in. I already worked hard on convincing everybody not to eat it. So let's just get it. Because really think about it. If they decided to eat it, they would have cut up the cattle by now and already possibly would have stored the food already. So this right here is already a worse situation by them taking his advice. So why is Rogers calling me? Hold on a sec, guys. Damn.
So here it is. Thanks.
I asked you a question.
So here it is. Thanks.
Still kind of working it out for myself.
Oh, my bad about that, guys. Man, the call that I received was from Rogers, and that really just
So here it
irked my
is.
soul.
Thanks.
Just knowing, like, when I really did my best to come off Rogers. So, yeah, not going back on Rogers ever again. So, let's continue this. So, Cattle, as we see, is basically being escaped or basically being, trucked out. So Boyd starts coming out, and Jade, of course. I feel like Jade is like one of the ultimate wingmans or like side characters in this series. Like he's always about helping. Like it took him a while to get used, like to get out of that fear in season one, but in season two he was so helpful. And then yeah, as he's coming out, you see that his daughter basically notices too. Same thing with Tia and Victor. So all of them are trying their best to try to get all the cattle back into their pen. Ethan, like a typical dumbass, trying to jump in and help, and it's like, no, you stay in the freaking house. You stay in the house. Wait, what exactly happened? Yeah, okay, okay. We're about to get to that scene. So we got Randall still staying in the bus. Starts to notice everything that's happening. So he's like, oh shit. They don't know that they're coming from behind. So he's like, all right, let me try to, get like, let them like know what's going on. So he turns on the bus's lights and presses the horn so that they can look behind themselves and see that they're basically being chased by them. So like, all right, let's go. Let's go. Then you have Ethan, like I said, Ethan is the most annoying, dumbass kid, child in this series. This guy's like, oh, we gotta help. We gotta help. Opens the door, and the grandma is standing right there. You have Julie just like, oh, fuck. Tries to close the door, but of course, these nightmare monsters, yo, 5 times stronger than an average human. So easily pushes open the door. So like, oh shit, we gotta run. So they run outside, and then they run into this random woman. I think she was part of like the house or whatnot. I just don't remember who this woman is. Let's see if I can go a
So
little
here it
bit
is.
forward to
Thanks.
show you guys. Or let me just
So here it
let
is.
me just
Thanks.
call it quits on that. All the stopping and everything. But yeah, scary woman. I kid you not. Yeah, I forget who this woman is. But yeah, comes out. So they're still pushing all the farm animals and everything, back into the pen. But of course, these guys are getting way too close. So because Boyd is still in the front, it's a little bit like J2, and then Tia and Victor are a little bit midway in the back way. But these guys are right in, like, you can say, the middle, catching up to them. So as he's pulling up to Jade, because he's like, no, fuck this. This man slashes the cattle's neck. One cow gone. So of course, since these guys don't like to run, they're just more of just the walker zombies type of thing and all that stuff. So basically they're being searched by the same grandma nightmare monster. They escape, towards I forget, it's in towards, I think, the bar house and all that stuff, because there's still a talisman attached to the bar. So no, my bad. they run to the bus because the guy Randall basically was calling them over. So run to the bus, perfect. They're perfectly fine. Now Jade basically is like, yo, let's bring some cattle into like the bar area, house or area that they basically congregated and everything. So him and I think Victor brought some of the cattle in there. So that leaves Boyd and Tia are the only ones still outside. So Boyd and Tia basically convinces Boyd like, no, let's continue with the mission. Let's keep on going, bring them into the barn and all that stuff. So they're all following Boyd and stuff, and he's like, all right, bless, let's get inside, lock it up and shit. But lo and behold, these niggas were already in the barn. Already in the barn. Bro, bro, this is a sad day. This is a sad day. That they got played so hard. So hard. And look at this man's face. He's just like, oh, fuck. It already took me like 10 seconds to put on that lock. You know how long it's going to take me to take that lock off? Yo, I'm just like, you done yourself dirty, my guy. Yo, if you just held the door instead of locking it so quickly and you turned around, you would have noticed. But you can't blame a person for making that decision. So of course they jump on Tia. I think the scene kind of skips it here, but then they jump on Boyd. They get Boyd and tie this man up because likewise they have been fucking with Boyd since day one. They know Boyd is one of the only ones that have been able to kind of combat a lot of the curses and the shit that's been happening in the village, especially telling them straight up, like, I ain't afraid of you. Like, we're not afraid of you. We're getting the fuck out of here. So they try to mess with Boyd the most out of all the characters in the cast. So they thought it was a great idea since this guy's saying he's not gonna break and all that shit. All right, let's test that out. Let's test that out. So they start messing with Tia. And honestly, I'm not even gonna show you guys it. I'm just gonna show you guys like just this scene because it's just like, yo, watching this scene was just so sad. It was honestly so sad. Like I honestly wanted to tear up. Like I felt so bad. One of the all-star characters gone, gone. Tia Chen out for the count. First kill of season 3. And it had to be one of the all stars. And that's how the episode ends. With them literally just torturing her in the background with Boyd just watching. And she's speaking in Cantonese, so it's like he can't even understand her. And she's like, yup, that's a way to break Boyd. Taking out one of the all star characters is definitely one way to do it. Man. I definitely hope that this doesn't like break Boyd and he doesn't go into like some type of depression arc within this season and stuff because we can't have Boyd being depressed and all that stuff because the only top tier people we have now is literally just Kenny. Jim, useless. I don't give a shit. We got Let me go through the cast and see who are still the all stars. Even though I don't like Julie, we'll probably talk more about Julie in episode 2 because I feel like they're gonna give her more screen time of her to show her annoyance in episode 2, but we'll see. But yeah, Julie, um, is still somebody that can step it up because she's been able to avoid a lot of this shit even after her having her soul in a sense trapped in the castle or whatnot. Sarah, even though she's kind of like in the outskirts, she is still useful in a way. We still have Christy, who is the nurse, and then her girlfriend as well too. Um, Fatima, bro, I don't know about Fatima. I feel like there's gonna be an alien type of situation with Fatima. So, yo, they're gonna have to deal with Fatima sooner or later. Jade definitely needs to come off the liquor. If he comes off the liquor, bro, he's gonna be so much of a fucking asset in this season. It's not even gonna be funny, especially after this death. Jim, this man just needs to freaking step it up because his family is in dire need of him, and he is just in la land, and it pisses me off, bro. Kenny, all star. He's gonna be the all star of this season. I hope he lives. I hope he doesn't die this season. I pray he doesn't die this season. Victor, he's the next character. I don't want him to die. He started off as a kid coming into this village, grew up to be an old man. I want this man to see his dad. Like, I actually want to see Victor see his dad. I hope he does not die this season. Ellis, I feel like in the most ultimate way of these nightmare monsters fucking with Boyd, they're gonna kill Ellis this season. I will call it from here that yeah, Ellis is definitely going to be one of the major kills this season. Tia is definitely going to be the first. I don't know how much more deaths they're going to do, like any outbreaks like they just did in episode 1, but I definitely feel like Ellis is going to die. Ethan, he's definitely going to survive. I really don't see him getting killed off. Like, yeah, I really don't see it. Like, I don't really see a lot of like shows like this, like killing off children, unless it's part of the story or part of the backstory in a sense of like, the situation that's going on. Donna, I feel like she's gonna die because she's just gonna do some reckless shit this season and just get herself in a situation where there is no escape, just like what happened with them. Meryl, I feel like Meryl, which is Christie's girlfriend, might either die or get brutally injured. That's gonna probably change her character to a more serious degree. But we'll definitely see about that. Randall, I definitely it's yo, the fact that he didn't get murked off in season 2, I definitely see him getting murked off in season 3. Nobody likes Randall. Let's just point it out there. Nobody likes Randall. Like, if I could take Tia over Randall, I'll take Tia over Randall. Like, again, this is a show, guys. Fictitious. It's not real characters. However, in the world of From, I would have wanted Tia to survive over Randall, but that's just me. And then I think that's all the major characters that that I really want to see survive the show. Same with Tabitha. I don't see Tabitha getting back with the cast, like especially next episode. No, I think they're gonna probably stretch that because I don't know exactly how long season 3 is gonna be, how many episodes, if it's gonna be like 8 or whoa, there's 7 episodes already out now. Wow, I'm really behind. But yeah, so there might be 8 episodes, 9 episodes, might be 12. Who knows? I'm here for the whole ride. Here for the whole ride. But I see Tabitha coming back. If not at the midway point, they might do it near the end because there's still a lot of stuff that Tabitha needs to find out, look out for, and figure out how all these, like how they got into basically the town, how they're all linked. Because remember, all these people came from all around the world, so it's not just considered in one location. So she might be one of the catalysts on how they figure out how this curse even started. So they might keep Tabitha in the real world for a good amount of the episodes. But that's gonna be nice. We're gonna finally see the duality of the reality and the nightmare world, and seeing how they basically are coexisting and how they even came about. So definitely I'll do some more research going up into episodes 2 review in regards to how many episodes we have, what to expect this season, and if this is like the final season or anything, because I don't even know if this is the final season. I mean, I'm perfectly fine if this is not the final season, but if it is, yo, it's a good run, good run. But yeah, I'll definitely see you guys real soon for episode 2. I'll definitely do my best to work on that. I'm probably gonna work on this video probably today and just start downloading it once we're off stream and stuff. But yeah, so I'm definitely going to catch you guys later. Hope you guys have a good evening. And like always, I give all praise and all glory to our Father, the Most High Yahuwah, and His only begotten Son, Yahushua Mashiach. So I hope you guys have